Have you ever wondered why so many English expressions sound obsessed with death? It's not a coincidence. Language is shaped by what humans fear the most, and death has always been at the center of stories, rituals, and culture. Today, we're going to explore 5 idioms that carry the weight of centuries of dread, faith, and even dark humor. Stay with me, because each phrase has a story you won't forget. Idiom 1. Casket mood. Origin. The word casket originally meant a small box or chest, but over time it became a polite way to say coffin. In some old wartime accounts, fallen soldiers were carried from the battlefield in makeshift wooden boxes or even large baskets before proper burials could be arranged. These grim images created an association between the word casket and the weight of death itself. In modern culture, the phrase casket mood evolved online as dark humor. People use it to describe a state of despair so deep it feels like lying in a coffin. Whether from history or from memes, the phrase captures the same chilling truth: the feeling of being trapped in hopelessness, like a body carried away to its final rest. Examples and context. After failing 3 exams in a row, he texted his friend, "I'm in a casket mood. Watching that sad movie last night put me straight into a casket mood. Every Monday morning feels like casket mood to me." Idiom 2. 6 feet under. Origin. This phrase is rooted in history, graves themselves. During the Great Plague of London in 1665, an order was passed that all graves must be dug at least 6 feet deep. The belief was that burying bodies deeper would help stop the spread of the disease. The idea of 6 feet stuck becoming the standard depth for burials across England and later in America. But the phrase carried more than just a measurement. It became a symbol. To say someone is 6 feet under means they are not just gone, but completely unreachable, cut off from the world of the living by layers of earth. It evokes an image of silence, darkness, and finality. Even today, it resonates because of its brutal simplicity. 6 feet is all that separates the living from the dead. The expression has haunted literature, song lyrics, and even modern television. Every time we hear it, we're reminded of the thin line between life above and silence below. Examples and context. After the scandal, his political career was 6 feet under. She joked that if she ate another donut, her diet would be 6 feet under. The old house looks like it's been 6 feet under for years. Idiom 3. Bite the dust. Origin. This phrase is ancient, older than Shakespeare, older than English itself. It appears in Homer's Iliad, written almost 3,000 years ago. When warriors fell in battle, the poet described them as biting the dust. The image is raw and powerful. A soldier struck down, falling face first into the earth, his last breath mixing with the dirt beneath him. The phrase later traveled through time and languages, appearing in the Bible and echoing across European literature. By the time it reached English, it had already become a universal metaphor for death. But English gave it a playful side too. In the Wild West, cowboys and outlaws used "bite the dust" in songs and stories, turning tragedy into gritty folklore. It's a phrase that carries both tragedy and resilience. On one side, it's about defeat and mortality. On the other, it's about facing danger with a kind of grim humor. Even today, when we use it for broken machines or failed plans, that shadow of the battlefield is still there. Examples and context. My old phone finally bit the dust after 5 years. 3 players bit the dust in the first round of the game. That car looks like it's about to bite the dust. Idiom 4. Rest in peace. Origin. Rest in peace comes from the Latin requiescat in pace, a phrase written on Christian tombs as early as the 8th century. It wasn't just words. It was a prayer, a hope that the soul of the deceased would find eternal rest after the struggles of earthly life. In a world where death was constant and often violent, this blessing carried deep spiritual comfort. As centuries passed, the phrase became a universal inscription on gravestones. But something interesting happened. It moved from cemeteries into everyday language. People started saying "rip" not only for the dead, but also for objects, ideas, or even moods that had died. It became part serious, part ironic. Today, we see it in texts, memes, and social media posts, where it can carry both genuine sympathy and casual humor. The phrase is a reminder of how humans constantly mix the sacred with the ordinary. What once was a solemn prayer is now also a cultural catchphrase, bridging the gap between reverence and everyday expression. Examples and context. After a long day at work, she collapsed on the couch and said, "Rip me." The computer crashed. Rest in peace to my unsaved files. The family gathered to say rest in peace to their loved one. Idiom 5. Dead as a doornail. Origin. This idiom goes back at least 700 years. In medieval times, heavy wooden doors were fastened with large metal nails. Once hammered through, the sharp end of the nail was bent flat, locking it permanently into the wood. Such a nail could never be pulled out or used again. People called it dead, since its purpose was finished forever. Writers loved the phrase. In the 15th century, poet William Langland used it. Later, William Shakespeare used it in Henry VI. But it was Charles Dickens who made it unforgettable in A Christmas Carol, when he declared Marley dead as a doornail. Dickens even joked in the text about why doornails should be considered so especially dead, but he admitted the phrase was already ancient and fixed in the language. The idiom is a fascinating example of how everyday objects, something as ordinary as a nail, can leave behind a metaphor that survives for centuries. When we say someone or something is dead as a doornail, we are borrowing imagery from medieval craftsmanship, carried forward by literature into modern times. Examples and context. That plant I forgot to water is dead as a doornail. I's old laptop is dead as a doornail. The town was quiet, dead as a doornail, on Sunday morning. So there you have it. Casket mood, 6 feet under, bite the dust, rest in peace, and dead as a doornail. Each one is more than just words. They're fragments of history, culture, and human imagination. From plague pits to ancient battlefields, from medieval doors to modern memes, these idioms remind us that language is a living archive of how we face death. Which idiom surprised you the most? Share your favorite in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more haunting journeys into the world of English.